Hello and welcome to Miniatures Among Us. This is Farron. This is my new, my new title for my channel, and I would just like to go through a few things before we begin. It is a tutorial today on Tyranid warriors, and I'm just going to show you how we are going to achieve this for our Tyranid warrior. Okay, it's a very simple way of painting. It's very rewarding. It is a bit time consuming. But if you want to have your miniatures looking good on the battlefield, this is a good way of doing them. And I want to share this with you. So this one, as you can see, is finished. And this one over here, okay, is just basically primed and based in Rakat flesh. And the colours we're going to be using today to actually achieve this here. Okay, we are going to start off with the old layer colour, Lich Purple. I think the equivalent to this now is Nagarath Base or something like that, I don't know. But I also found that this colour here, Azirius Purple, is equally as good. A little lighter, a bit more to the grey tone rather than the red. So I'm actually sticking with Lich Purple, and if anybody's got Lich Purple, this is a better colour to use. For the purple parts of the flesh and for the armour plates, I'm using Old Citadel Necron Abyss. And again, use any dark blue you got, but it has to be a deep navy, because the others are just too milky. They give off like a chalky look, and it just doesn't look right for the effect that I'm going to be demonstrating. So if you've got this old foundation colour in your box, brilliant, use it, because it is a fantastic colour to use. And later on we are going to be using this colour here, Genestealer Purple, with the glazes. Okay, so let's crack on. So if you've got your palette, anything would do. I mean, I even use an old dinner plate. So if you've got anything like that, just crack on and let's get some paint on there. So to begin with, we are just going to use a little bit of Necron Abyss like this, and I'm just going to pop it down in the palette there. I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops of water. So just mix this round. Okay, and then what I do then to see if I've got the consistency right, old piece of tissue, if it spreads out slowly like that, okay, that's spot on. Okay, let's get started. So the bits around here that I'm going to be painting is just a little armour section at the moment. And I'm using a number 4 filbert brush. It's imperative that you use this type of brush, really. Well, I think it is. It works really well, especially when you're doing wet blends, because it actually creates a beautiful feathered edge, and it's just like, I heard someone say before, it's like having an airbrush on a stick. All we're doing, we're just covering this over evenly as best we can, and we're trying not to leave any pooling. If you've got any pooling on it and it dries up, you're going to have to start again. So it is a very tedious way of painting, but also very rewarding. And you want to keep the paint moving all the time until the whole surface area is covered, because you want to avoid any water lines. And the thicker the brush you use, the less paintbrush strokes you are going to see. So there we go, that's that part done. And what we're going to do now is just let that dry. It doesn't take long to dry, it's almost dry already. Okay. Just put a little bit more pigment up there. There. So there we have it. So you should be looking at something like this. So the consistency of this paint is literally water. Okay, now for the next colour, just set that aside a minute, is the Lich Purple, and then we're doing exactly the same as what we've done with the blue. take a good chunk of paint, whack it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops of paint. And as you can see, it's just like the Necron Abyss. It is a very highly pigmented paint. Okay, consistency is okay. Remember, just check the consistency of your paint. If it spreads out slowly, you're good to go. Okay, so we start off on the hand. I choose to paint the arm separately because painting will be just difficult otherwise if the whole miniature is built up. Live and learn, as they say. So I want to leave a little bit of pooling in the recesses, but you tend to work out which areas need it and which don't. Usually when there's parts on the model that have got a recess, the paint will gather in there. So if it's over flooded, just drain a bit of it out by just tapping a damp brush into it, and everything's good. And there we go. Keep that flowing, keep the brush moving. I mean, the reason I like using a larger brush on such a small miniature is that the brush strokes are eliminated. And I find Filbert brush plays the part extremely well. Whoops. Okay, so there we go. We've got the purple basics of the skin tone completed. So this is just your base coats. As you can see there, for the next colour we're going to use a dark grey on the claws. Actually no, we're not. I'm going to actually jump into the shading now on this mini, on this arm. So here we go. I'm just going to bring just little bits of the pigment up, building it up towards the end and on the top there, but leaving this white area here which has been stained slightly already on the base coat. We don't want to cover that up because that's acting as a highlight. And we're just bringing it, dragging it down and over. And then with a damp brush, we're just feathering out the edges now. It helps to eliminate that hard edge where the water leaves. It is a tedious task, but like I said earlier, it's very rewarding. Yeah, and we just bring that up into that recess there. Just add some colour to this part of the bone. Carapace. We just let that dry. Work on a different area. And these Tyranid warriors from the new Deathstorm kit from Games Workshop, well, they're very nice sculpts indeed. I mean, you have a prime warrior and 2 standard warriors. I ordered myself last week a couple more, well 3 more, a set from eBay, got them through the post today. Absolutely chuffed to bits with them because they actually got delivered a couple of days early to what they were advertised But as we're on the underside of the arm now, I'm literally just adding another coat of the glaze or watered down paint rather. So I want this area to be darker because it's going to be in the shadow. And I'm just now bringing these colours up now to the edge of the wrist. A bit like Blue Peter, isn't it? Oh, here's one I prepared earlier. Now we're just brushing this colour forward. And I want to leave this like a hint of the base colour behind as well. Just remove that pigment from the brush. Literally, you've got no paint on the brush here, we're just moving it around now, playing with it, manipulating the paint on the model. If you feel like you're failing with a smaller brush, get the old fill but brush back out. Make sure it's damp. There I go, I start painting with a sopping wet brush. Very lightly bring this over. Like I said, it is tedious. The amount of, you've got to have patience of a saint to do this. Now I've cleared that area. Okay, I want to add a different bit of colour into it now. That's where things start getting interesting. I'm just going to build this up very slowly. It's just a nice touch to put in the armour, is to have some of the skin colour actually in with the actual armour colour. Give it some variation and realism. And remember to remove these jagged little water lines. Right, we're going to let that dry. While that's drying, I'm going to work on the other side, and I'm just going to add in some bits of purple, just in areas where I want some darker shades. So like down the side of the horn, these barbs on the side of the arms. And inside these little tears. And just slowly build it up. And what you'll find when you've completed the task is that you've got a nice feathered edge You know, it's something that you'll be proud of when you're finished. This is by no means a complete how can I put it, process of painting. I'm just getting things ready, preparing everything for the glazes. And at the moment it looks pretty good, so I'm quite happy with how this is like turning out at the moment. So there you go. It's getting there. Alright, we can go back to the underside of the arm now. But you can also incorporate this part of the detail on the top of the carapace. You don't have to sort of keep it to the bottom, because if you do it all on the bottom, you think, oh, I can't see it, what's the point? Exactly, good point, exactly. But I'm just showing you what I do when it comes to this. Just tidy that up. Another good thing about this method is you don't use a lot of paint, but you're making a tiny little one drop of paint, literally a single drop of paint, go onto a whole model. And I'm just lightly tapping the edges out to get rid of that hard watered edge with just a normal damp brush. So okay, let me show you this now. Let's get this round. So there you got that, like that faded part underneath on the arm there. It's a very similar colour to the actual skin tone itself. That pretty much is done, and I'm quite happy with it. And now I'm just going to carry on working with the pink. Well, sorry, purple. And I just want to be giving it another remember to keep it flowing to alleviate those dreaded watermarks. Like I say, if you do get any watermarks, clean it up immediately with a damp brush. And that way you can just carry on working this paint into the model itself. I also find that it's very therapeutic to paint this way as well. But each to their own. But do try this method. It is very, very rewarding. Okay, now we're going to see it start taking form now, because we're connecting all the colours together. I'm just taking it round. And underneath. Well, it's done. Right, can't do any more at this stage. Just got to wait for it to dry. And what we're going to do in the second part of this video is I'm going to actually finish off this arm. Okay, because I've run into 20 minutes now, and it's going to take at least 7 hours to upload. So thank you for watching, everybody, and the next video will be up straight after this one. And from me, the miniatures among us at the studio, thank you very much for watching, and we'll get another tutorial up straight after this one. Thanks for watching, and please remember to comment, like and subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye.